What's up, everybody? This is the poker coaching study session, and today we're gonna be looking at the final table. Pocket deuce, never lose.
Oh. Welcome.
You can't lose if you put him in the muck.
I think we can raise versus him because there's a 10 big blind stack in the low jack.
I fold this.
I wouldn't raise for sure. It's either call or fold. Maybe we could call because middle stack against middle stack. If a deuce comes, we can get a lot of chips.
I mean, we are in position and just barely getting the right up. We're barely getting the right CEV to set mine,
Yeah.
but with any, we're the big stack. We might not have that much. I don't know, this might be a call since we're the big stack with a small.
I would call here maybe too often, and I'm fairly confident the machine will just wants to
I'm
fold.
fine with
I would
calling
raise.
threes
I-
and
I-
folding usually.
Raising,
I wouldn't be surprised if it folds.
Wow, as I said.
Folds?
yeah, it's just a fold.
Yeah,
Mornings.
I'm
Morning.
not a line.
Good morning.
oh, who's that? Is that Galen just getting on?
Yeah, it is, Joey. How are you?
Hey, Louis just folded pocket twos on the button.
I'm proud of him. As his
Thank
PR agent, we would like to thank him.
Thank you. Okay, so calling here is probably okay. Having an eight in your hand is bad against late positions.
Yeah, that's the button, and he's the second biggest stack. He's gonna be pretty wide. Wouldn't surprise me if this one goes for it.
It mixes raise call, I think.
Yeah, I think it mixes.
Oh,
Oh,
seven,
it-
sixes, fives
it-
and
it's-
nines.
It skips ace eight.
Yeah,
He's
of
the
course.
only one that doesn't.
Yeah, because the eight is really bad against late positions.
The 8 is the bottom of his offsuit opening range, so
Well-
we'll block it.
Well, was the eight the bottom of his offsuit range on the final table?
I believe it
Yes.
probably is from the button.
As the second biggest stack facing a medium stack in the big blind, for sure.
I would say
Okay.
Peter's probably correct about that.
So I thought it
Folds.
went, I thought most final table went up one pip
It
a little
did.
bit.
I think it just depends on the risk premium.
All in,
Ace
Yeah.
still
No,
has
man,
them,
what
but
are you
they're-
doing crazy?
Fold.
I think they're mixing, Joe. I don't think
Fold or
he's
fold.
frequency with the offsuit eights, but he's definitely using them.
wanna fold?
Yeah,
Yeah,
fold.
man.
I don't know. It's a wheel ace.
Raise.
Wow.
Well, aces are usually in there.
Oh, play
Folding
O's.
but
What's the EV?
Non all in three bet. Good luck with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna price everyone into call. And you're gonna hit an ace, and you're gonna have the worst hand.
Is this final table?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
anytime the background is red
Oh.
and it says final table in the middle, that's usually
Oh.
bringing it. There you go.
Oh, okay, final table.
Old laundry.
Don't feel bad. It's a very common question.
Yes, I did too.
I fold?
Yeah, the
I'm
bottom of
folding.
this guy's opening range is ahead of us.
Dude, he's got 10 big blinds. Like this should be a pretty loaded range, I think.
Okay, so where do we draw the line? Like 9-6 is probably a call,
Yeah.
9-5?
That's a pretty good question. I
6
would
or 9-7.
say maybe suited two gappers are gonna be kind of calling.
You folding
Hey,
9-6?
Maybe it's a leak, but I think I'd probably call this.
I'm calling 9-7 for what it's worth.
And there's a
Well,
four-way
that's so
tie
good.
for second place here. I don't know. I'm probably folding 9-6.
Okay, I think it's around 9-6 because 9-7 seems like a good call, but 9-6 is like.
I would call 9-7, I think. 9-7 suited.
Okay. It's 9-5.
So.
Oh,
9-5.
it's just outside.
Suited sixes.
Yeah. 9-6.
It's calling quite wide. Wider than I thought.
Obviously,
Yeah,
yeah, we can't risk the 9 big blinds, 8 big blinds, whatever it is.
Yeah, fold.
When you
Yeah.
three bet bluff and get four bet, you fold.
I wish we'd have played the first note though.
I don't know how many big blinds that guy has.
Probably 30.
Louis, can you hit repeat?
I think
So
it
we
is
could-
30-30-60.
Oh, his blind is covering him, so.
Yeah, I think it's 30-30-60. I don't know. I'm calling here
Yeah,
probably.
that line.
Yeah.
BBB.
I guess call. You got too many big blinds. It's like, this should be.
Where do
pretty
you
close.
draw the line?
This is probably pretty close to it. Maybe like,
You folding queen six to one big line? in
I think
position?
queen five is what I was thinking. Queen five, maybe jack six-ish. It's one big blind. You got all the chips.
Queen five, you defend here.
You think?
I don't know. I would probably
King
be very
five,
indifferent with queen five.
That's what I'm
Queen
saying.
six.
Yeah, I think the line's at queen five-ish.
is king five a shove?
Actually, we're wrong. It just kinda goes bananas with these
Yeah, we're
offsuit
in
queens.
position.
Queen, jack six was the line though.
Alright, so short stack raising to you. You can shove with king five off and don't. It's not too crazy. Okay,
Versus a balanced opponent, of course.
Right.
This is a fold.
well, when you get down to three, I mean, people know that they have to do something, right? You don't get down to three without a lot of shenanigans.
It's true. It's true.
What did the gray mean? Cuz it was like half and half, gray and black.
Um,
Out of range. Out of range.
Yep.
Out
out of
of range,
range
okay,
and folds.
okay.
Gray is gonna be like folding,
Mm-hmm.
so.
I wouldn't be surprised to see this maybe like
Raising.
jamming some of the time, raising. Maybe it just raises.
We're a mid stack.
Yeah, call.
I wish I could see what middle position had chip wise.
Seems
Sure.
like 30.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, 30 something. So it's like. Hijack is gonna be pretty capped here as the big stack flatting. He should be applying a lot of pressure to that guy as a middle stack. So, theoretically hijack shouldn't be super strong here with the top of his range. I think we could apply a lot of pressure with a hand like this.
Right.
Okay,
I call.
Calling is probably not the answer.
Ooh,
what about,
Either raise or all in, huh? No?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think,
raise with some all in.
yeah, you're either raising this or folding this because they're gonna play a pot.
that's the thing, right? How about folding? Cause we have a jack and we're against early position, kinda.
That's honestly, Louis, that's very reasonable. I wouldn't be surprised if it folds. I just think the solver's gonna wanna play this aggressively.
Okay, so say it plays aggressively. What aggression level do you think it takes?
What's our bubble factor here? How do we calculate that?
I think it's gonna prefer raise over the all in.
You're not gonna be able to calculate it on the fly because you need all of like the payout jumps and things like that to.
For the
calculate
bubble
that.
factor, I think it only applies for the bubble. Now, this is just like ICM ladders and ICM.
No, it's,
So-
it applies here, like.
Hold on.
There's a risk premium, but there's not a
That's
bubble
what I mean,
factor.
Risk premium is the inverse of bubble factor. Bubble factor is how you determine risk premium. And it's a function of like. The difference in chips made, I forget what the equation is, but
How is bubble a factor still past the bubble?
Yeah, so you gotta set this back up actually, because you can show it. We were doing it yesterday and you can see what the payouts are. And how many, like, even with percentages of the field, if there's
I'll
30
read you the
left, 20 play the money, it gives you the payouts, how far you are from the money, and it's there's a little graph that stays on the table to remind you where you're at.
right. So the bubble factor is the change in our tournament equity if we lose. Divided by the change in our tournament equity if we win. So it's the EV, starting the hand, subtracting
Regardless
the
of bubble.
EV. Regardless of bubble, it's just called bubble factor.
Yep.
I don't know why they call it that, but,
Yeah.
yeah. There's an equation for it
Back
and
to
that's how you
our-
determine.
All I was saying is,
That's
this
okay.
shows you if you set it up right, where exactly you are and what the payouts are.
kind of approximate it in your head, you know?
I,
So,
I,
But yeah, that's all we do on the fly, basically, in these situations.
so we're mid stack, and I mean, depending on the money, how much it means to you, I mean, this could be a shove. I mean, just shove and try to get all the dead money. You got two
So
for
like, to help out heuristically, when, if you can estimate that the risk premium for the opponent is high and the risk premium for yourself is high, that's when you're gonna see some of like these aggressive movements with
okay,
like blocker hands. Because, they're gonna have to call much tighter when you're squeezing into a pot like this. So like, hijack is gonna have a relatively low risk premium, like big stack versus middle stack is not like negligible, but, um. It's gonna allow him to kind of come in with some of these calls as
Right.
opposed to like always wanting to apply pressure
right.
with weaker parts of his range, cuz he can extract EV without too much risk. So like, us coming into this pot, we're gonna have a very high risk premium. Like, I don't know, it would probably be like 13-14% or something, which is
Right.
pretty
Yeah.
substantial.
I would guess it's a minimum of 10,
Yeah, absolutely.
10 to 15.
And,
And-
because
then-
of that, this is an attractive hand to play aggressively because it's suited broadways. They just perform really well when you get called typically.
And
And it's got a pretty
high-
premium blocker.
The hijack has a lower risk premium, but he's already capped.
Yeah, that's right, Joey.
Yeah, but remember, he's still flatting hands like ace queen, right? Like he still has a lot of strong hands in his range here.
Yeah, I don't know if he is, Peter. I don't know if he is actually. I think he's probably supposed to be raising pretty linearly versus the middle position who's got a middle stack, when there's a 24, a 15. He might,
True, but
It's
don't
gonna
know.
be polar, right?
middle
Top and
stack.
bottom.
He's the middle
Maybe.
stack opening into three guys who cover him, right? Including the big blind. Like even though the chip arrangement leads us to wanting to have aggression here, the fact that there's two guys who could just wake up with a hand behind us is a little on the risky side. I
Right,
think
yep.
this is gonna
and-
flat more for that reason.
I would be pretty surprised to see us over calling a hand like this.
He's
Oh,
going-
our good old tool, my favorite exercise, range analyzer.
This is a spot where he's gonna be pulling out those like low suited kings and aces and even some queens maybe, and then also have top of range.
Can we play as
And
if
offsuit
we
aces.
were the low stack as the pay jump between us?
Going for bigs and small. blind.
Yeah, I mean. You're gonna be able to play aggressively because of that, Andy, but you still have to take into account that there's a pay jump sitting on the table, so it's gonna affect our range a little bit.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
And I think the suited jacks and tens are probably in a raising.
Let's start with your range, Louis. What do you think the range looks like? Cuz I'm curious. I've got my range somewhat in my head.
So the first thing I wanna go over here is folding. So I think jack ten suited folds here. I think queen ten suited folds here. 10-9 suited folds here. I think.
Well, let's just,
Fold there.
Hey, let him go through the process real quick.
So I think this part of the deck is gonna fold. What about this? Is probably has to do something, I guess. King
Yeah,
10 is probably gonna fold as well.
I'm honestly kind of torn on the tens. I don't know the answer with the suited tens. I'm kind of like was in camp jam them, but I don't know.
I think the suited tens might mix. King jack and queen jack suited, I think are probably raising. And the suited tens might mix.
Hmm.
And king queen suited is probably a call.
How far down on the pairs? The open, I think like. I don't know how successful nines and eights are gonna be here.
I think they call.
What does MP have? 35?
Down to fives.
Maybe 6.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. So maybe some calls. You're thinking calls? If you're calling those pairs, it's gonna have some calls around the fringes, so maybe it would overcall with some of the suited 10x. You think calls with ace queen? Okay,
Yeah, I think I'm okay with that.
I just don't know how much of an overcall range we have here.
You're not
Probably
raising
not
ace
very
jack
much.
off LP?
So, okay, I would bluff probably this then, and I'm going. here.
You're not gonna
I-
bluff the king three, king four, king five, king six, the wheel aces. You're not gonna
It-
bluff ace jack off.
Yeah, ace five suited is definitely in there.
I
With-
think,
With this distribution, no.
I
Open
think we're gonna
call,
be, just for the record, I think we're gonna be much more aggressive with our suited aces. I think you're gonna see jams. Probably almost all the way down to like the 5 region. And, you might have some mixed frequency of the offsuit stuff. But I don't know. But I do think the jamming range is gonna look similar. I'm
I-
just curious if there's a not all in sizing that balances with the very top.
And I've seen charts where like king jack was raising, but king queen suited is calling. Cause it might be strong enough to just call without raising.
Mm.
And we're multi-way here. I missed that.
Very little calling here, IMO. I agree. I don't think calling's gonna be a, big component. With this chip stack, I think folding's gonna be the competitive option. So I'm like bluffing suited broadways here. Suited aces. And maybe some overcalling with some pairs.
What do we do? Are we folding king queen off?
yes.
Yes, I think you
Yes.
are folding king, queen off. Fairly confident.
Right, and I wouldn't go all in too much. I would just have a 6 big blind size.
Well,
So do we
I-
squeak in some of the low suited connectors that are playing the other portions of the board? Versus these two, the open and the middle position call?
I highly doubt it. I
Well-
think it's gonna be a extremely linear range.
Okay.
You're gonna be blocker oriented with your bluffs.
Louis, I think the, raise that the solver wants to use for us is a 4x. So it'd be 8 big blinds.
Yeah,
And it-
I would
then-
make it 7 because we're short.
And
6
then the question really is, what do we do? If we raise to 6, 7, are we folding all of this to the MP jamming?
Well, that's why I don't like not all in raising this because it puts this hand in a hard spot, but yeah, I don't know. Let's take a
Not
look.
really, facing an all in, it's not a very good hand.
Yeah, well, it's not very good at that
Well,
point.
that's
It's
why I
just-
think it might be better just to go all in on our own.
Well, that's kind of why, that's kind of the idea, right? Like this hand does very poorly versus a 4-bet jam, so I think it may
Could be,
benefit
but the
more.
problem here is, say we jam here, what are you gonna do with your bluffs? With like ace 9 suited if you have a sliver.
Now, I think king jack suited is the bluff.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think suited aces are gonna lean jamming and I think your bluffs will come from maybe some of the offsuit tree.
And like
But-
ace 5 suited, ace 4 suited.
Say we have pocket aces here, it's not gonna be stuffing, right? It's gonna be.
No.
No.
Yeah, I think you're gonna not all in raise here.
Oh,
Do we
Ace
have bluffs
five.
in this spot? Like, I mean, being on the final table with somebody opening and a call behind, I
Yeah,
mean,
this one,
Oh, absolutely. I think you absolutely do have some
This
bluffs
is a
here.
dumb.
I mean, if we do have some bluffs, I mean, is it just pulling from like ace queen off where we actually have some value? I mean, it shouldn't
No,
be too weak, should it?
You
I would
usually
say
see
ace queen
suited.
off here is a dangerous hand.
Ace queen off is a jam. All of the time.
I
would
think
be
like if you
small
have
with
bluffs,
queen off.
they're gonna come from like your suited wheel aces, your suited aces, your weaker aces.
Ace five.
And then like, you might have some not all in sizing from some of the offsuit
Like-
aces or something. I don't know.
Alright.
I
let's
got the
look at
wheel
this.
aces in here.
I would raise,
Okay,
never.
folds.
Oh,
We're all wrong.
Holy-
Look,
Holy
No bluffs.
crap.
alright, so the one thing we were right about was there's not much calling. The thing we were wrong about is there's no bluffing.
Yeah,
No bluffing. This is a very linear, top heavy range and, it does split sizes, prefers not all in. As you were kind of saying, Louis,
yeah,
but,
there's an all in though.
there is, yeah, there definitely is a
It's king up.
component.
So like having a jack is bad because we're against early position, but I didn't think it would be at that bad. that
Yeah.
jack is folding.
Yeah, it's just, with the shorter stack on the table, I guess we just don't wanna get involved. And I think you can explore the risk premiums of these situations also, if you wanted to do that.
Yeah,
You can
so
click. Oh yeah, I don't think you can do it from this mode. You need the side panel where you actually look at the range.
We're pretty short in chips too, and there's a short stack at the table, so.
I don't
Yeah.
wonder what our range would look like without the hijack in there, with just the early position raise, and then how many bluffs we would have in there.
You could look at that pretty easily. You just have to pull it up. What is that, the weighted scale thing up
I
there?
don't
What is-
know, it's mind blowing me. That's nothing. Alright. Okay, very,
King
very
queen suited
tight.
is the bluff.
Pocket ten is folding.
Now, if there was just one player, was it multi-way? Would
It
you-
was multi-way, yeah.
But I mean, if it wasn't, would you call, I would assume
I
you
would be
would call a
there.
raise?
Very, it would be a lot wider than that.
Okay.
Well, we can look at it real quick here. Do you want me to pull it up, Louis, or?
Maybe I can.
And you just have to open a new window and find the range. What is this MB thing? What kind of weird search engines are you using these days?
MB is a movie server from one of my,
Hmm,
he made his own Netflix.
MB.
Yeah,
Alright, so you gotta put the charts down to final table. As you know. What were we, 8-handed?
8 max, yeah.
So the button's gotta have 35. That'll help us find it. Looks like it's not gonna be up here towards the bottom. 35, I think that's us right there. So we're in the cutoff with 24. So first we could look at just middle position opening and how we respond.
okay.
Also, if you click MP 40 there on the table, display, it'll pull up our risk premiums. So versus the cutoff, 8% risk premium. Not super elevated because he's, you know, it's actually one of the lowest risk premiums at the table.
Yeah, because we have the second smallest stack.
Okay, so middle position open, hijack calls.
Oh, you wanna look at middle position,
Well-
or, I mean, I don't know, what are you looking at?
He wanted to see just the,
The cutoff range. This is the hijack. This is different. You gotta put it on cutoff.
The cutoff's range is here.
no, he
No, no,
wants
no,
to,
no,
s-
no.
Heads
he
up.
wanted to see it in a single raise pot. If the hijack didn't call and just, we,
Yeah. There you go. Okay, so you see some of this mixed frequencies with like some of these aces, as Louis pointed out. Having like tens, nines, jacks, pretty unattractive cards to have here.
but we have no shoves either.
Yeah, it's just not a shove at that stacked up.
You don't want the guys behind you who cover you to wake up with a hand and be out of the tournament.
Yeah.
So
it's
king
true.
jack suited is still fold. Wow. That's tight.
Doesn't want to have a jack.
I'm surprised it's pulling bluffs from ace, 8, 7, and 6 instead of ace, 5, and 4 suited. Cause those could connect for a will, I would assume, but
Well, no, it's really because whenever like EP or like early positions raise, if you have a 10 or a jack in your hand, you block ace 10, you block king 10, you block queen 10, so you block the bottom of his opens. Okay,
Mhm.
the same thing goes with the jack. That's why you see here that it doesn't like tens at all. Like
Yeah,
even
it's,
nines, it doesn't
it's-
like nines. It'd rather pick an eight.
normally like we pull from like these suited wheel aces to target these middling aces for folds, like the whole like idiom of getting better aces to fold. And then sometimes we'll use like the ace jacks, ace tens of the world to get value from these middling aces. The situation here is different where, you know, you wanna have the strongest aces that are unblocking the bottom of his range kind of thing.
The king 10 is in there, I think just for board coverage, because we have no other tens in our raising range.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, somebody asked in chat.
So why does king 10 raise?
How's a blocker? It's a suited king. It's good.
Yeah, has a block or two kings. And I think it,
Honestly, you're trying to sort out the exact reason why that happens. I would
I
just,
don't mind it. I'm not out there looking for that.
yeah, I wouldn't go too crazy. I think if you remember the overarching heuristic that
Oh,
tens and jacks and nines kind of and where those interact with their opening range as the floor,
yeah,
just, you don't have to
tens and
find the needle in the
jacks.
haystack.
Yeah, tens and jacks against CP. And whenever you're like on the small blind, you're playing against button or cutoff, it becomes nines and eights that are
Yeah.
really.
Right? They fold. You would rather play like pocket sixes than pocket eights. In some of those spots. I mean, this is a fold. Squeeze. Do you just jam here ever? Like you cover everyone.
yeah, everybody else is 18 is the biggest stack.
I
I
think
don't
this
know if
is
you
an
do
all
though.
in because it's too short.
Yeah, everyone's pretty short except for you, so it raises the. There is
Wow.
a pretty big all-in component here. It's just kings are too good.
I didn't think it would matter for 18. I mean,
I didn't think it would either. I think we just call here.
hmm,
Yeah, it's just one.
I like calling.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've never called queens here. Or jacks.
Is that saying queens are folding half of the time?
No,
No,
they're
it
just,
says they're raising half the time.
Oh, okay. Alright, yeah, alright.
yeah, because we don't limit them.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense.
It's a bit aggressive, don't you think, guy? Is that really necessary?
Yeah. So we fold ace jack, we fold eights. I'm not
King,
sure if I
queen
would call
suited.
nines here. Would you?
No, I wouldn't call
No.
nines here. Like, there's a four-way tie for second place and you're like the clear chip leader. I'm honestly like, I'm in the box if I have pocket tens here, I think.
Yeah,
And I'm probably folding the ace jack suited too.
very funny spot.
Alright, so I didn't see how many
I
chips
can't-
he had, but. By the arrangement, I would probably go not all in raise here. We're not gonna jam too much in position past 20,
Well,
except this,
it's
JK.
ace king, right? It's ace king.
Yeah, and I wish I knew how much he had. That would affect it a little bit. Just call, I guess. They fold, you can't fold this.
Can you jump?
Um,
I would jump here.
from the big blind, maybe
would
from the
jump-
small
jump
blind. Oh, wait, no,
fives.
no,
Oh,
there's
two
two
in there.
callers. There's two
Yeah,
people.
it's just a
I'm
call.
just completing here.
Yeah.
It's an interesting question, though, like,
G5 is
Heads up would be a thing, I think.
maybe. I mean, it's doing it a little bit with
Oh,
fives
do you
here,
see
so it
this?
might be.
Do you see this little button here?
What did it do? Oh, it pulls up the range, does it?
Yeah. That's new.
Mixed strategy. Okay, yeah, that's really cool.
So we
So
don't
what is-
need that other window anymore, that button. Look at this. Happy days.
Well, you kinda do if you're gonna look at how you would do it versus one range. But that's a great feature, to be honest.
Well, you can look at a small blind, yeah. Really is. Okay. So we call here. Alright. I was right. All in.
Jam, I guess. I don't know, man. Jam. I don't know how much the small blind has.
This is a punt. Savage one, dude.
You gotta be respectful here, I think.
That
Open
seems
fold.
big
Oh,
blind.
Fold it, fold it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna limp or fold. I would fold, I think. Um. Okay, so there's two shorter stacks, another squeeze spot. Let's play this one like we did the other. We just don't bluff here. So this would be a fold.
That's a jump, I think.
Making the jam floor probably, I don't know. I think we're gonna be very tight here.
we are a touch shorter, so our range might get a slightly bit wider.
Wow, there's a 6 here, there's a 12 here.
Yeah.
Let's go all in.
You guys are gonna collide. Jesus Christ, do we need to fold? Yeah.
No.
No, we could,
Folding
We
is
just
all
saw
good.
this spot, guys. I
I
think this is a pretty clear fold.
I go all in.
I wanna go all in.
Everyone
Going
wants to
all
go all
in.
in.
Alright, you crazies, click the button.
I think I'm folding.
I'm considering folding ace queen suited.
Ace
Come
queen
on,
suited,
LP, you're a
I-
maniac. Let's go in.
Me too, Dooley. Me
The
too.
last time
No,
we
ace
the
queen
last time
suited, I'm torching it.
we had 4 people behind. This
Ah,
time we are the small
okay.
blind.
it is ripping it.
It is
I
ripping.
think call is telling
Yeah,
here because we.
Hallelujah.
Well, the difference is before we were in the cutoff and still
Yeah.
had three players that didn't act yet.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And our stack is a little bit shorter than it was in that hand too. So we have to mix it up. We can't be as tight with,
Let it go. That's interesting, yeah. I mean, it was the floor.
yeah. At least we're identifying that hands like ace eight, ace nine are definitely out of there.
Yeah, well, the behavior,
Are you calling with king 9 here?
probably not, man.
No,
No.
no.
I'm gonna let the big blind do all my heavy lifting.
King 10 offsuit.
But
Yeah,
Louis,
dude, I'm just not getting in there with king ten.
if we run this in the HRC, does king nine do 10% of aces?
Probably not, man. You can look at it here. So 5.28.
You need
4
like
point-
king- the closest at like point.
You need 0.52.
So like 0.49 is getting close. Alright, whereas this one here is like 0 EV. This one here
You
is
need
0.
the,
Oh, it's better. It's a hair better.
you need the blocker, man.
Yeah. And then
Yeah, I don't know about those offsuit aces, man. That's wild.
well, it's just 5. He's
Yeah,
ripping like if he has king 7 off, he's ripping, right? So ace 8 is probably good enough.
What if we have king 10 suited here? Would we just call the 5 bigs?
Yeah.
And
Well, you see what the
just
range is
call,
doing.
and
The
then
range
what,
is-
what do we do when the big blind behind us rips it in?
We
Just
fold.
fold.
Hey, if you look
Fold
at the
basically
range,
everything, man. Fold basically everything.
Okay.
if you look at the range, nothing is raising. Everything's just flattening the 5 big blinds.
Right, I was just definitely calling that, but then I was really worried about the big blind behind me, what he was gonna do, so.
Once we call, it should get out of the way,
Well,
right?
dude, if the big blind goes all in here, like, it's safe to say that's like top 4% of hands. Like, that's the nuts.
Yeah.
And if
Like
he
he-
steps in front of the train, I think that means he is the train.
Yeah,
I-
exactly. Exactly. Like, there's no
it-
reason for that guy to put chips in after you've called. And if he does, he has a gross misunderstanding of the situation or the.
Or he
nuts.
just has a premium.
After we call, I wouldn't be surprised if we run that on HRC or something and kings might be borderline.
Yeah. I think we probably open this.
You sure?
I'm not very sure, but
It's like the worst end at Chippy V.
yep. It is.
I wouldn't. If these 15 big blinds gonna shove into us with any face card, any
You're
pair.
probably right. Maybe we should be tighter.
Let them do the shoving and calling.
Yeah, I was just gonna say jack nine, I would be in
I
there.
know, it's close, but
It's close,
Okay,
but this
fine.
guy's just looking for blood here.
let him, yeah, let the big blind do your heavy lifting. That's right. Just get out the way. Out of position, man. I kinda just wanna put the cookies in, but
Yeah,
that's,
Three bet
pretty
squeeze.
risky, man. Maybe it's gonna raise or. I guess that's a good question. How
actually,
much of
actually,
our range is jamming?
from the other ones, ace king off was jamming and ace king suited was
Yeah,
less than jamming.
yeah. We could.
Our problem is we're out of
With-
position.
I
With-
think you're right there.
We are out of position.
I don't wanna play a deep pot with the button out of position with ace king suited. So I would probably jam, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a raise. And if you look at the all-in frequency, it is a little elevated compared to what we have been seeing. And I would guess that's
Yeah.
probably positional.
Yeah,
Hmm,
Fold.
there's a 12, there's a 12, an 18. If we call and we win the tournament.
I think we fold fours, but I'd
I
like to
think-
see the cutoff where we are on our pairs, probably sixes or sevens
I
or
don't know if
something.
we pull fours, dude.
I'm folding this.
Sorry, I walked away. I'm curious now.
I don't know.
Oh,
I-
dude, it's pocket fours, man. What
I
are we
think-
doing?
I think sixes or sevens might be the
Yeah, I
floor.
agree with you. Sevens, I might.
I
call.
think fours are a fold.
Alright, so think about his range. Let's start there. What is the small blind doing this with? He's gonna I think he's gonna be doing this with trash aces, all of his ace X blockers. So
Ooh, click on
like-
his range. Hit the button now.
you could do that, but it's kinda fun to work through it mentally because you don't have a click on range thing when you actually play live.
That's unfair.
It is unfair.
Our
So
six
like,
is a
if
call,
we
right?
assume he's playing correctly, sixes are probably a call, I would
He's
think.
jamming. So
I don't know,
he's
man,
jamming on
like,
pairs.
look how tight do we need to be here? There's an 18, two 18s.
I'm not calling.
There's a
ace
lot
jack
of
here.
shorties. I don't know. I think your range, I think this is reasonable. What you have up here, I think king, queen suited is probably calling too.
What do you do? Yeah, with king, queen of hearts.
I think you gotta call the king, queen of hearts.
Do you?
I think
It's too much
Yeah.
big lines, no?
it is a lot, man. Honestly, like, I'm kinda nervous about this situation. But thinking about the hands that he's jamming, we probably are doing alright. Like,
I'm
try
not
to
calling
construct
with
his,
king, queen here.
I'm
well,
not calling.
I'm calling with ace jack off, but not with king, queen suited. What about ace ten off? 'Cause
I'm
I think that's
folding ace
already
10
better
off.
than king, queen suited here.
I think those are pretty comparable hands, EV
Okay, so I
wise.
think that's the floor. We just muck them. Then fives and fours.
Well, I mean, if we're doing that, I would maybe be calling with pocket sevens or eights.
So
Maybe, something
I
like that.
I don't think you wanna have a five or a four, cuz I think those are gonna block the wheel, like the ones that wanna jam here from him.
Why you
Yeah.
wanna raise? He's all in.
No, it's.
Yeah.
it's the
That's supposed to be
the-
fold.
The hands on that, I'm not sure of basically.
Okay.
Cause I think sixes, I'm confident. Hands in red, I think I'm confident. Hands in blue, I'm not confident. I think you have to go based on your opponent, I guess.
Ace nine's a difficult one. Ace nine suited, I think is pretty hard to deal
Yeah.
with here.
Yeah, it's fine. You can get it in.
I like this range. I think this is probably pretty good.
Alright. Oh my goodness, pocket four.
But if you look at the range, alright, king, queen was a bit wide, ace nine was a pip wide and ace 10 was right at the floor. Fives and fours were unsure. Like, honestly, this is pretty well played.
Look at king, queen suited, man.
Yep. Yep, king, queen suited. And I mean, if we look at his bluffs real quick, so if you click his little like thing, so we can see what he's jamming. He's just gonna be jamming a lot of ace X and we're not doing great averse that, I think. So it's gonna be like trashy, well, it's not even trashy ace X. Okay, this is weird. I expected way more ace X. I didn't expect the king seven offs of the world over here.
Alright,
He just has a lot of raises, not jams that were ahead of there, so, yeah.
Someone's asking what the EV of pocket 5-6s are.
Oh, I mean, if it's at the floor, it's gonna be break even at best.
then your aces, so you're looking
Need
for.
a
It's gonna be like a
1.1, right?
0.1 probably.
Yeah, you need eights to get to 10% of aces. And you need ace jack over there, and you need ace
Ace
jack
jack.
over there.
Yeah, I thought the floor was like sevens and sixes. But it's more like eights and sevens.
Okay. Oh my goodness, I wish we played the first note, damn it. Why does it do me like that?
Fold
Because
it.
they know that you know that you're supposed to three bet these combos.
Do
And
they?
it's giving you the hard but easy.
It's sending me in the box directly without passing go.
Well, I mean, the
Straight to
game's
jail
over, Louis.
Without passing go.
The
Do
game's
not-
over. He's put all the chips in. Just fold the hand.
Ask for the manager.
Yeah, manager immediately. I need more.
Call.
Alright.
I don't know if I would fold this.
I would 100%.
Eights and
fold.
nines are trash, man.
I
Fold it.
fold.
Uh,
It looks good. It's a scam hand, Joey. It looks kind of, oh, maybe you could do something, but the next thing you know, you're on the wrong end of the scam.
Right, you know, you step into a little cash game, next thing you know, you're three betting that, and calling four bets with it, but here at a final table. Nah,
His final table ICM very similar to when you're just getting shorter stack it in chip EV, where you kind of fold out your implied odds hands and your
No, it's
higher cards go up
White.
in value, right? So in those sorts of situations.
short stack chip EV, you become a warrior of equity. You don't fold.
Well, yeah, you wanna
top
get in
pair.
pots, but you also kind of like those implied odd hands, don't they just go down in value and you're,
Here,
Yeah,
like,
well-
say, for example, you're a middle stack against middle stack, you make top pair, you're not gonna be a warrior.
I understand what you're saying. He's not necessarily talking about calling it off. He's just saying like pulling from similar hand
I-
pools, right?
I
right,
think,
right.
I think
So
that's a,
like, to complete his thought. Yeah, I mean, it does have some similarities where you start valuing like high blocker cards.
I would say no with caution, because when you get short at chippy V, you pick high offsuit cards, right?
right, that's what he's saying.
King, queen offsuit becomes great, right? But it's not that at all. You'd much rather have a suited king or a suited ace rather than.
Well,
Well, yeah, blocker oriented stuff with.
I think to
additional
really
equity.
answer that, I think the chip stack has more to do with it than the ICM. The ICM doesn't help it, but if we had somehow couple stacks here with 100 with ICM, I think we might still be getting in some of those,
Suited connector hands.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
those
stack
things are one, those are
distribution
one
is
and
a big
another.
factor. That is.
Well, I mean,
But-
it's not just a big factor. It's like one of the main factors. It's like, that's how you do ICM. It's payout distribution and chip stack distribution.
What the hell are we gonna do here? Just go on it?
You know, maybe a non all in size or a jam or rooski. I think you
I
do
would-
raise, you
I
obviously
would
raise.
probably jam all in, but that might be one of my leaks.
Honestly, it
would
doesn't
raise
like
fold.
ace six off. Ace six off is like the trashiest of trash offsuit aces. So I think it's just gonna raise.
What's wrong with limping in?
Nah.
I think there'll be some call in there, but I think the offsuit prefers a raise.
You got a premium blocker. The
Wait.
ace is too valuable. Well, it does limp some.
Galen, we also have a 10 big blind stack.
Yeah, there's a,
Yeah, there is a 10 big blind stack, so we have to be somewhat respectful, but,
it's just raise folding.
yeah, whoever mentioned calling, you were correct.
Thank you.
Oh,
I am folding.
I think this might be in there doing something.
What do you wanna do?
The cutoff, it's a little low. You want slightly higher.
Even if a king comes, like, I'm not happy calling.
Three betting this.
I think I think he's gonna wanna call.
Okay. it's
I
not-
think you'd rather
Three.
see the 5 on the flop than the king.
King three.
Whoever chooses king three off to three bet.
Cause we also are the big stack. We have the smallest. ICM pressure.
Wow, I just realized Dooley got up this morning.
Yeah, I'm happy to see Julie here. Just complete here, I think. It's
Oh,
too good of a hand not to put a big blind
oh
in.
goodness, what are you?
Oh my goodness, what?
What are you making me do? I got it all the way there. I have
Look at
20
this
big
range,
blinds.
honestly, like,
I
look
don't
at this
wanna play
range.
10 at 7, 6.
Look at this range. This is a big blind range. This is very, very, very tight. 14% of hands.
Okay, what are we looking at? Because I
Honestly, like,
never
you don't
did
need it.
that in
You
my,
don't need to be in this pot is what this is telling you.
yeah,
You just don't need to be here.
how? Ace ten
Yeah,
off, you don't put one in. Queen ten
Because-
suited, Galen.
You're right, man. Like the risk premiums to the roof, like I jumped to conclusions. I got excited, my
Yeah.
suited connector, but there is a 40 big blind stack. You have 20
How do
And then
you
the two
fold
shorties
pocket
have decided.
nines? Tell me, how do you fold pocket nines here?
in the big blind.
Louis, what do you always say?
I know, but
Against late position, you don't want to have an 8 or a 9 in your hand, so it prefers 76 suited to pocket 8s or pocket 9s.
Now, there's some powerful juju going on here because like, it's like pot odds be damned. We've already put half. This is one big blind and the solver is saying, I'm not gonna put one big blind in to win almost 6,
Well,
which is a quarter of your stack.
if you do look at the ranges, even at CEV on pre-flop academy. If we did this at CEV, our ranges actually get tighter. Than
Well,
they,
sure, but it's still like over 30% of the range.
yes, it is. But I really, a lot of people I think make the mistake that, oh, now they only have to call 1 to win 7. They got better pot odds and they call wider. That's just a mistaken concept.
alright,
You don't block the
But-
ace 5, you don't block 8s and 9s, it chooses 76 as the perfect combo.
I mean. This pot right here is like, how do you tell the big blind to fold without saying fold? Like shorty opens, cut off calls. The two shorties are playing a pot. This is like pay jump city right here.
okay, so when the two shorties are playing a pot. You fold suited tens.
Yeah, I've probably been punting off a lot of single chip calls here.
You fold offsuit jacks.
I mean, this is tight, like very tight.
This
Very,
is
very, very, very,
Very
very tight.
interesting.
And notice like it's the same behavior we were talking about, like 9s and 8s are trash here. But, pocket deuces, okay. Pocket 4s, sure.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's a fun one. Whatever.
Oh,
Too many shorties, man. There's an 8, a 12, a 15, a 12.
I'm gonna fold.
Yeah, protect your stack.
alright. Wanna
Louis
take?
wants to do the exercise again.
Yes. Go ahead. If you don't call here, what do you call?
So, in game, truthfully, in game, I'm probably around ace 9 off plus. Which would put me at ace 8 suited plus. I don't know, man. Sixes and 7s have gotta be close. And, I mean, the pairs, I'm gonna just call all the pairs linearly here. So 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, plus,
Yeah,
plus, plus.
so I'm giving
Um,
ace eight in.
it gets close. It gets very close with the king, queen suited here, I think. We should be doing pretty well. I don't know, man.
May I add?
I'm probably making a
Yes.
tight fold with the king, queen suited, I think. You think king, jack?
LP, do you remember what you said about king queen off?
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not good. I go
Right.
with ace 10 off and ace 10 suited here. King queen. And, yeah, let's see.
I think that's pretty reasonable, George. What about you, Louis? Am I tighter or looser than you here?
And
You
you're
think you're
tired
a
of me.
pip?
You think I'm ace eight off? I don't think I would fold fives.
I
I
think-
think I'm basically 1 pip tighter than Galen in almost all of his.
I feel like I'm pretty close to 10% of aces here, probably. I wouldn't be surprised that like, to see everything a pip wider than what I'm saying here. But I think this is probably my calling range, given this arrangement.
And then
I'm
think
2
about
pips
ace
tighter than
jams.
Galen.
2 pips. Maybe
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
punting.
With eights.
Maybe I'm punting.
It's not.
Okay, so like the range we just prescribed is doing pretty well here. He's jamming a lot of his aces. Which is gonna be a notch
Now-
against non-ace hands. So
Now
like
that-
king, queen suited is gonna be trashy here. These low pairs are gonna expand our pairs a bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if like maybe Louis is right with fives. I'm confident with my sixes, I think.
Yeah,
I think the range looks pretty good, to be quite honest. I'm pretty happy with it.
oh my goodness.
2 pips
So.
tighter.
So what did I say?
Exactly.
I said
You're-
ace nine, so Pete was
Ace
right.
9, ace 8. I was going ace 10.
Hey, to be
I
fair
said
though,
ace 10.
I don't really have ace jack and ace 10 in my range here because I'm just jamming those pre-flop, I think.
Well, that's why ace jack is only here like 10%
Yeah.
of the time.
Yep. Sevens, I guess it's wanting to jam sixes and fives. And then I said ace, what did I say? Ace 8, ace 9. Yeah, you're about 2 pips tighter.
Way too wide here.
And I mean, I guess it's just a function of like, you're kind of the short stack when you lose there.
Yeah,
You gotta open this, I think. Or do you?
yeah.
For sure
Yeah,
you
you
do.
did.
Yeah.
Well, see, it's pretty close. Like jack 9, for instance. Pocket J's. Oh, man.
You
Dude, they're
have
so
this-
deep. It's a 70 and a 90.
79 and 90.
Like, we have, I kinda like ripping, I think. Ripping may be too aggressive, though.
We
Nope.
are one of the small stacks too, so ripping might be okay, I think.
Yeah,
This guy is not much of a factor, right?
Right.
So. Yeah. It's really.
yeah, I mean, the
against-
hijack should have quite a few calls here, and it's gonna be like weaker parts of his range.
I think it's more like a raise.
Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised to see raise. I think I jam in game.
Yeah. I think I raise
Okay,
the mixes.
So the
Bob,
look at the
problem is
hijack.
like,
So
The
as
hijack
long,
call.
as long as you're raising, you're right.
Yes.
Bob,
wanna be
feel
overcalled.
free to unmute yourself when you want to talk.
Jeez Louise. Fold, easy fold.
Yeah, I fold here too.
I don't know.
Calling.
Click that, hey, click the hat for the button and it'll tell you how deep he is.
The hat,
It should tell you how deep the range is.
is not,
Actually, it doesn't. It's a mixed, it just says mixed strategy. That doesn't help.
call here. Our risk premium is too low.
There's another, maybe, I like folding, I think. I don't
You
I
like.
just
like
wanna make
folding
top pair.
too. Folding.
you just want to make top
Calling.
pair and get it in. You have 10 bigs.
Yeah,
We're
Fold.
surely folding this.
Fold.
Fold.
ooh, 8,
Look
5.
at this goofy range. Look at this thing. Look, ace 9 through ace 6 are folding, king 9. Look how bad the 9s and the 8s and 7s are here. Like, it's just a dirty stain in the middle of our range. whatever, fold.
Easy fold, right?
Just fold.
But
Easy.
what do we call?
What?
with?
Yeah, king, queen for sure. King, jack.
So analyze the stacks. It looks like the big blind is quite short. I think he's single digits over there.
Yeah, 6,
And then middle position, we got covered.
12.
So we can't be like crazy here. Like, we're gonna be torching money if we're too crazy. Maybe like, I feel like ace queens are indifferent, maybe?
Linear
Yeah.
range. 10s
Yeah, I'm
plus.
not even sure if, king, queen
agree.
suited is. King, queen
King, queen
suited is kind
suited's
of
a fold.
dicey.
It's a fold. I think king, queen suited's a pretty easy fold.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty similar to that range that we just did. But
ace
a little
jack
bit,
off is
maybe
gonna
tighter, a
call?
little tighter. I think ace queen off would
Yes.
probably be your floor, maybe.
I think
Okay,
ace queen off is indifferent and mixes folds. Ace jack is a pure fold.
What do we
Ace
do
queen
with,
Suited,
what do you
probably
do with
pure call.
nines?
nines is trash. I think.
10s plus.
I think tens is indifferent. I'm probably jacks plus calling.
I'm calling with 9s.
You think you're calling with nines? Maybe
and
I'm tighter.
8s.
Ooh.
I agree with LP.
spicy.
I'm not sure about the eights.
I
I
think we're more
wasn't,
linear.
I wasn't sure about the nines, but the eights, I think are.
And I'm
It's your
calling
tournament
maybe
life,
not,
Louis.
maybe
This is the
not.
final table. It's time to knit it up. If you've ever gotten out the knitting needles, this is the time.
Okay,
it can't
something like
be.
this.
You have two guys who you can ladder over.
Nine.
Okay, so Louis is not too crazy. I mean, it's nines. I
Oh,
was
but-
too tight with my pairs.
Look at ace jack though.
I was correct about these, right? So ace queen off is indifferent, like you're starting to fold.
Cody
And ace
said the
queen
floor
is-
with ace queen. He was right.
Yeah. But, the pairs, I was probably like in the box if I had tens. I'm folding nines here though, for sure.
Me too.
I'm losing a little bit with eights, a bit too wide, but so close, right? Jack and eights, okay.
The king, queen was a good identifier here, where it's just like, it's just trash. We're not doing good with that.
So usually whenever I look at this scenario, I get, I'm very confident with the range and then all I need to do is remove one bit from it.
Yeah, I've kinda started doing that mentally too.
So this is.
Not a lot of pain on
Call
final
for me,
tables
I
with
would
king,
call
queen.
ace eight here, so I guess ace nine is a call.
Oh, man, I don't know what we're doing here. I think,
Ace eight, I snap it off.
Yeah, I agree
So-
with Louis. Ace
So
eight.
I'm calling ace nine, I'm folding ace eight.
he's 16 big blinds jamming into a 30. Like, I don't know if we can just discount this as like trash.
I don't
Dude, I'm
care.
calling ace jack here, I think. Like, I'm probably calling ace jack, but I think I'm
Are
folding.
you
ace
folding
10.
this?
I think I'm folding.
Wow, you net.
I'm folding too.
Jamming king. No, he's jamming the worst stuff, enough worse stuff. He's jamming king jack suited, king queen
Oh.
suited, queen jack suited.
Queen ten suited probably.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
How much of his, well, click his hat real quick before we make our
I
deciding
don't think.
judgment.
See, queen ten
look at all
suited,
that.
we knew it.
So he's got all of his suited aces and he's got all of his suited Broadway,
But
which
we,
is gonna be a tick 4. This hand
Look-
calling, but
Louis,
look at his
what do you,
offset branch.
what do you
Look at the
do when
offsuit
you're
branch.
blocking the bottom of his shoving range?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
we're
so like,
cooling
you're
bottom
a
of
Folding
the
chip.
anyway, because ace ten is too strong for 10 big ones.
Yeah, I still think I'm folding. I like ace
But
jack.
ace nine, I'm folding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ace ten
a fold.
suited, ace jack off.
Yeah.
So 1 pip wide.
Cause the bottom of his shove was king ten suited, queen ten suited, jack ten suited.
Man,
Yeah.
ace ten
No,
suited
it
is
was right.
miserable here. I don't think I'm folding ace ten suited. But I'm not happy about it.
I'm surprised by that, because I would
Right.
think in the short stack, we wouldn't have ICM pressure.
Yeah.
As what, the
Exactly, we
short
don't
stack?
have risk premium very much, right? So it should be closer to chippy V.
Well, you have some risk premium. You have the, I mean, there's a 12 here. It's not like this guy's just never going bust before you do. Everyone's in the teens, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and the 12 is next in the big blind too.
I like V Pippin. Well, do I? I think I like folding this actually with a 6 and a 12, cuz if the button jams over your open, you're in a miserable spot. I'm not opening this.
I might open it.
How do you handle a jam?
Fold, you're at the bottom of range.
Yeah,
But it's 4 big blinds.
And we just limp.
I think the 4 big blinds you might have to call.
Yeah, the
Do
small
we
blind, you,
pull from this combo? Jamming into that guy?
you don't.
Probably
Yeah.
not, right? I think it's
No.
a fold.
Now I wanna know what you do with ace jack off here.
Oh, you gotta put ace, well, do you, actually? There's I think you jam ace jack off, man.
What's a
The
big
pro-
blind Louis, what's a big blind have? I can't quite see it.
22.
Okay.
The problem is the small blind is really short.
It is a problem, right?
Yep.
So let's
It's a
construct our range from ace ten. Ace ten is a fold, right?
I think so. Ace jack, I think, is probably the floor.
You call or you fold?
I don't think I'm calling anything here, except for like maybe. I mean, maybe calling like aces or something here sometimes.
Okay, so
Which
ace
if-
king, ace queen is a rumble. What about ace jack?
Maybe, I think ace jack mixes, so like I think aces may do some flatting here,
Well-
which would make like ace jack maybe do some flatting as well, but. I think it's gonna jam at some frequency.
Okay, so you say ace jack is a rumble here.
What are we doing with ace 10 suited?
I jam ace 10 off though. No. I might
Probably
be-
jamming here, Joey.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
If we're V pipping ace jack, it's probably V pipping ace 10. Now the question is like, how, do we have a polar component here? Or are we gonna be pretty respectful? Like, is it mixing all of the suited aces for jams? Are we doing some ace 5? No, we're not gonna do ace 5 off.
Well, I think with the 6 big blind and small blind, our bluff, we're gonna have some bluffs, but I think our bluff range is going to be smaller compared to our value.
Yeah, I don't think we get to get too out of line here, to be quite honest. I think we're gonna be honest. It's gonna be linear. It's gonna be
What about-
value.
What about pocket nines?
Ugh. I mean, it may mix some, but it's not gonna be popular. I don't think.
What about
May-
eight?
No, man.
I
no,
ac-
no, no.
I honestly actually wouldn't be surprised if 10s mix a little bit too.
What do you do with tens here, Joey?
I think I'd prefer to rip it, but like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if 10s mix.
Mix between
Um,
calling? Or folding?
oh, I don't know. Maybe calling a bit.
Calling with tens? From 12 big blinds?
He's sowing doubt, Joey. He's
I
sowing
don't know,
doubt.
Joey, I don't know.
I know. I know his tactics. He tries to lean me one way and then it's like, see, you're wrong.
So, Kay, I'm kind of on the fence with no calls, because when you're this deep. The EV of flatting aces is gonna be higher in some scenarios. I'm not necessarily this one, but maybe. But if you do flat
Well-
aces, you're gonna have to have something to go with it. You can't
E-
just flat
exactly.
aces.
Now,
Yeah,
Yeah,
flat.
watching
Wait.
Matt Affleck's ICM concepts, he's basically like min raise, fold, or jam. And I think in this spot, we're just jamming or folding since there's obviously a raise already in front of us.
I don't hate that. I mean, it's probably true. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I guess I should say I wouldn't be surprised to see that at all.
Alright,
cause if we're calling aces, something else has to be in there on the lower end as a call.
kings,
Well, yeah,
7.
Now, I think kings are shoving.
why?
it might
Do
mix
you see a
frequencies.
difference between aces and kings?
Yeah, kings need some protection for all the single aces that the small blind's gonna,
But from 12, do you think it matters?
It
Does
might
it
have some
matter
calls at some
the way that
frequency.
if we ever flat with aces, kings play the same.
Ashwin, you are a maniac. We're not flatting with deuces, crazy. What are you thinking? Oh,
Ashwin.
aces and deuces?
Oh my god, Ashwin.
We're not getting in there with deuces, you crazy.
Oh my god, Ashwin. Okay, so very tough spot, right? Very
It's true, you
tough.
can't.
I think I will try to fold ace jack here from now on. I will try to fold ace ten. I will try to fold pocket nines. I
Alright,
think I'm
let's see what
going
the,
with tens.
I think so
I
too.
think,
I'm,
I think
I'm,
the pairs are gonna get in wider and your aces are gonna be narrower. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
okay,
crap.
well, we're all wrong.
We're
It's
way
just
too
like-
tight.
What are we
way
looking at now? Why is it so wide?
It's suited broadways, all of your suited aces and your pairs. It's just like
It's like pocket four, let's go.
Ashwin was almost correct with pocket deuces. That's how wide this. range is.
Ashwin,
Rather just to get something in the calling range to balance the aces.
um,
And I know Louis got the cursor, so Louis gonna bloody call deuces for sure.
So-
Exactly.
And
But-
aces,
none
aces
of
are
us-
not, never calling.
I guess it's because our risk premium is low as we're the second shortest.
With these ICM solutions, have you seen aces? Calling?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I personally can't remember very well. I know at Chippy V, it's very popular.
Oh, yeah, I know that. I do know that.
At ICM, Galen, you saw it?
Yeah,
Oh,
you,
yeah,
there's
it's
situations
hard.
where you flat aces, there's situations where you flat kings and queens.
I
It
know,
really
but
just,
you can limp kings on the button, maybe. Oh, by the way, somebody was asking me, do you think there's a lot of open limping at ICM final table?
yeah, some situations.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Some situations for sure.
Okay. So.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I've seen it, but I hate the open limp. I even hate the open limp, the small blind.
Is it more from limping from early or late positions in those
Later
scenarios?
It's
I
later
think
positions.
maybe.
The,
I think-
the purpose is
But-
you want to, I mean, when you have like 12 big blinds, opening 2 big blinds and getting jammed on sucks. Whereas like you can limp with strong components of your hands, play pots in position and force people to play 100% of their range. Like there's a couple benefits to it. And it allows you to expand your range in some aspects.
What's a cutoff on that? Like I mean, is it cutoff or hijack where you could kind of start seeing some of that?
You see it all over. Like, I mean, some people limp aces from early position, but I mean, typically you wanna be in position, so it's gonna be like late positions, cut off button,
Okay.
maybe some hijack.
Yeah, if I start experimenting with something with that, I'm starting at the button. And then seeing how that works and then maybe expand a seat and a seat.
But it's only like when you have a short middling stack, like when jams start coming into play.
It's so,
This
it's
is-
just so hard for me to
Oh,
limp. I can't get that
Correlate-
into my game at all.
Well,
Corollary to what
that's why it's
Galen was
profitable. A
saying,
lot of people don't know how to play versus it.
Right.
And I think Galen, we do this with pairs mostly, or not?
Some pairs, I mean, it's like your suited.
Middling pairs.
Suited combos, like, think about like what your typical range is and expanded a pip. Along with the top of your range, and that's what it kinda looks like. I like folding here. I don't know why you would wanna be raising this.
What about king eight? Why would you? do-
Yeah, I'm not finding king eight here either, I don't think, just because he's 16 big blinds opening from, was it low jack?
Yeah. I guess I'm too tight in this scenario.
I think I am too.
Need to raise more a little bit. And it's not like the wheels or the low suited kings at all. It's like,
It's completely hinging upon the fact that, like, the low jack has the range to complement this, and they're making the correct folds. Like
Yeah.
if.
clickety clicky. We're
Whatever.
suited.
Just fold.
You
We're
got no
suited.
blockers.
We're suited.
You got no blockers.
I mean, but if it's jack four, we jam, right?
Jack four is
No.
not jamming.
Nah, nah,
joking.
nah, nah.
No.
Sorry, I was joking.
That-
Is that-
Oh,
That-
I'm
I
not
get
too
the
close to
joke.
the meme.
I
that-
get, you gotta add the jack four off.
Nah.
I thought-
Oh, it was suited, my bad, too strong.
I thought that was,
Gotcha.
I thought that was dead, that joke.
Is it?
Fold.
What? fives.
It's a three-way pot, man. What are you
Alright,
gonna
I'm
do?
all for folding here.
Well, you only
but-
have 6 big blinds.
You only
Yeah,
have
man,
six big.
just-
But
I jam all pairs.
we're gonna have to draw a line here.
It should just jam. Let's just fucking jam.
What about pocket sevens?
All day.
I mean, okay, fine. If you're gonna twist my arm about it, let's put sevens in the middle.
Okay, can I twist your arm for pocket eights?
Yeah, fine, deal.
Okay, pocket eights, for sure. What about sevens?
I think it's probably the floor.
The lucky sevens, man. You know what game Joe finished yesterday, second?
You mean, he finished like, he made like 4 final tables or something yesterday.
One of them was the 77. So pocket.
Along,
sevens.
featuring our own maniac,
Oh.
who finished 4th or 5th or something.
I don't know. I punted ICM. We need to review it.
I told you, we could have put it in check to side, but you rage tilted out of the chat.
For sure, but we will do it because like. Everyone ran deep in it, so we can look at the hand history from 2 point of view. Sevens in here, alright? What about sixes?
Nah, man, I got the button. I'll live to see another day.
Okay,
All pairs, all aces. I jam.
All aces, George, you're a maniac, man.
sevens are not in here. What are you doing, crazy?
I know, it's crazy. You twisted my arm, man. What was I gonna do? We
Yeah.
said eights.
Eight.
I made a deal with eights. Look at ace jack off. George, you're jamming your offsuit aces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
I
9, 10
have
pips
6
too wide.
bigs.
You also are, you have,
7, 6 and
you
a
have
half.
less bigs, than how many pips you jam too wide. Congratulations.
And,
It's tough to be 10 pip wide.
and, you know, cuz you're going to be on the button next and you'll have another full orbit. And
Exactly.
it's quite possible that 2 of these bigger stacks could butt heads in that orbit and you get a free.
As well. They could
I'm
be
playing
there.
spoiler right now, Joey. I'm playing spoiler. I'm gonna happily fold and watch the big stack make the middle stacks miserable for at least one more orbit before I decide to put my chips in.
Grab your popcorn.
Exactly, getting the popcorn out.
Min raise fold.
I like that. I like min raise folding.
Oh. That's jam.
It's mixed. It's mixed.
It's jam-ish, ish.
Oh my god.
Fold.
This is why you just jam this hand, because I don't know what the answer is here. I think
I
you just
thought
put
you
your
were-
chips in.
Why
You're
were
under the
we,
gun. You're
why
under
are
the
we
gun.
min raising with 8 big blinds?
I agree. Why are we min raising eights?
Because we min raise, if this guy goes all in and this guy calls, we can easily fold.
So then we're min raising to fold then, right?
I don't know about that. That's.
I
my
don't know what the
issue.
answer is.
I feel
think
like you're
I
only.
I think you have to call.
It's the same reason why this guy didn't jam over top of us. If multiple big stacks get involved, you can get out of the pot. So he has a hand that wants to run equity against us.
Okay.
Just
So
fold.
he has ace queen here.
Okay. What do you do against ace queen?
You call. You're the shortest chip stack. You have
Yeah.
no risk premium.
Let's see what this is. Ace queen. He might have ace queen
Might
off.
very well have
Maybe.
ace queen.
Look at this range. We're just fucking
Aces.
squashed.
Boom.
We're squashed.
Boom.
By the way, whoever was asking about aces, here's one of the scenarios for you.
Yeah, while you
Oh,
call,
okay.
calls are open. He doesn't. Yeah. You just
We
like,
are squashed. Okay, so we're either flipping here or we're squashed.
really?
Yeah.
But-
We're gonna
Yeah.
fold pocket eights.
We've put in a quarter of our stack and we're about to get hit by the blinds. What a
Oh.
miserable situation.
I think
Yeah.
if you didn't want to fold, you should have just jammed. I think the min raise is to fold.
Yeah.
If that makes.
Yeah. I agree with you, Josh.
Yeah, I'm with
Yeah.
you, especially after looking at that range. I don't know, man, like
Yeah.
this is.
Oh
this
my
is
goodness,
wild.
what have I done?
Yeah.
I would never fold here.
Yeah, that's why I said you have to call. You, like,
Okay.
we'd be folding if he raised and then one of the other stacks got involved.
But we fold tens and jacks. That's amazing. That's
Well,
really cool.
okay,
No,
so
no,
you
no,
don't
no,
fold
just-
ten and
No,
jacks.
they're
You
not,
don't-
they're not in range.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we was jamming those.
You're
What
folding
okay.
you
ace
fold,
nine.
though, is ace
You're folding
jack
ace
off.
nine, you're folding ace jack.
It's hard to make a pair.
True, true.
Ace jack off, open folding.
What's the EV of this call, Louis? Hover over eight.
Wow,
Let's look at the
wow.
EV of this
Do
call.
you know
much
how
money are
big,
you
how
making?
big of a punt my hand was with ace jack yesterday?
AV. Oh, man,
No, it's gone.
it's gone.
I don't wanna see it anymore.
So.
Snap.
How about this? Let's play the game. What's the floor of the calling range here?
Alright, this,
Let's play the game.
ace jack,
I like that.
ace jack.
Floor of the call. I
No,
think ace jack
10, ace
suited.
10, Jesus Christ.
Ace
No, no,
10?
no, 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 no,
Ace
no, no.
10.
You don't wanna play with ace 10?
Nah.
Dude, I'm
No,
ace
no, no.
queen off. I'm ace queen off here, and I think I'm ace jack suited.
Okay, what
Ace
about,
That's what I
eight,
think.
I go
That's
with
also
you.
what I think. Ace jack suited is mine.
do we agree pocket eights?
Nah, 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 nah.
What?
Ace eight,
Nah,
fives.
nah, 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 nah,
Are
nah,
you
nah.
really gonna fold eights? Cause you got me on last hand, but this
Dude,
time,
look
I don't know. If you're-
Look how shallow everyone is,
I-
man. There's a
Weren't we-
12, a
weren't-
It's
16.
pocket eights. You
Weren't
got
we supposed to
five
be
big
raising our,
ones.
weren't we supposed to be open shoving our nines, tens and jacks or whatever it was in the other range?
Well, that was quite a different scenario.
It was,
but-
it
Yeah.
was.
But to answer your question, they would probably play similarly here.
Out of what's already highlighted, I'm not sure about the ace jack and eights.
Oh, I'm ace jack suited and ace queen off. That ace jack
Yeah.
offsuit is going into the muck.
Yeah, and I think the eights, they're borderline. I don't know.
We're really short, guys. I don't know if we can afford to fold these.
We are really short. That's the one problem here. We're
I'm
so
in there with nines. I'm gonna say nines. I feel like I'm
Okay.
being a pip wide. I'm being a
Okay.
pip
I mean-
wide, but this is
I'll
close.
be honest, there are some days I'd be in there with eights.
So let's see
Sunday.
if my theory is valid here. I would snap off with ace jack and I would snap off with pocket eight. So I will remove them.
Okay, you're gonna play the remove a pip
Yeah,
strategy. See-
remove it.
see how
I
we do.
can't trust myself anymore. I'm sorry. So I'm calling.
This is a call. So ace jack suited. Look at this range. I'm proud of us, here. Ace jack suited, ace queen off, and the pocket eights.
Ah, nice, nice.
There,
So identified pretty well. And this is 5 big blinds.
yeah, pocket eight is like zero EV anyway.
Right, so if you remove a pip, hey, not too shabby.
Yeah. Wow, how tight. Tight is right sometimes.
I guess we can min raise this.
We're gonna go
We
min
like
raise.
min raise
call.
here a lot.
No, min raise call. Right?
I think.
I think so too.
I don't know. I think. Alright, fold. Easy peasy.
Call, raise. Ooh,
A fold.
Yeah.
You gotta let her go, man.
yeah, definitely.
What do you do with like ace jack suited? You fold?
Yeah, get out of here, man. Ace jack suit. I'm not calling that.
Ace queen suited,
Nope.
pocket ten.
Nah.
Alright, what do you
No.
call this thing with?
Dude, I'm ace
Jack.
king here. I'm ace king here.
Okay.
Pocket jacks, I think is gonna be in there.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, man.
Um,
Fire away.
Aren't we supposed to have ace king when we raise here? So like, do we, or is he? So do we want to call off with ace king if he's jamming to what we should have as ace king?
So check out the chip arrangement. Alright, so
Okay.
it's like middle, we're like upper middle versus middle.
Yeah,
So risk premiums are kinda high. The chip average, we're a little deeper, so we're gonna get a little further out of line here because this kind of response is not gonna be the primary response.
true. Yeah,
So we're gonna have all of the suited aces in here messing with this guy at some frequency, I would guess. Like we're
Okay.
gonna be messing about quite a bit. So his response here is gonna be pretty ace X
Oh.
heavy. Like this is a pretty linear response, I think. Although he may have some shenanigans, like I would not be surprised to see maybe an ace five suited doing this kind of
That'd be
stuff
Great.
in a solver. But,
Okay.
I think, you know, when push comes to shove, the game's over. Like if we call this, we have like not that much behind where we're tied for last place or whatever. I think like this calling range is pretty close to what I'm calling with. I'm folding tens, I'm folding ace queen suited.
Alright,
I like it.
I'm not sure. I think I might be with Louis. Holy crap. We're folding, queens aren't in range.
Queens don't raise. I
yeah, they
guess
just rip here pre-flop.
they rip or
Call it.
they just call, one of the two. Click the little hat, see what we're actually doing from the small blind. Or wait, it's not gonna tell you what the actual,
Yes.
okay, this is our range.
Oh, yeah, we could have looked at this to determine our,
Right, so you see when I was said we're a little bit deeper and we're messing about, like, look at all the suited aces,
Yeah.
look at all the suited kings, like,
Black
we're
call
goofing.
with queens?
yeah, now that we see this, it makes it easier to know where our calls are.
Right, so you're flat calling with queens here for the same reason like you flat call with ace queen suited at 40 big blinds.
Have you
It's
ever
because it-
flat call queens there?
I don't, no, I don't, I haven't, I need to get some of this in my game, but I don't have flatting this upper middle part. It's just like, I mean, when you get four bet jammed on and you have pocket queens here, you're doing pretty terrible, right? You're up against like ace, king or a better hand a lot.
Crazy.
You should click on his hat. Just, kind of looking at what he's jamming
His
before we go.
rips. He's gonna have ace king, kings.
So it's very top heavy and then you have some of these artifacts of like these suited wheels. And like, you know, a smidge of tens or whatever. Alright, so we got a raise.
Sorry.
call.
Can you explain why queens are calling? Like, is it just assuming
You
we're
don't wanna
behind
get
with
into a
the
disaster.
numbers?
Is it
Dooley, how
because
do you
under the gun?
play? It's the easy quest, the better question is, how do you play versus a four bet jam with queens?
I mean, I'm in the box.
Well, you
but-
You don't know what to do. You've made your life very difficult. And that just means the EV of it's very close. So the solver is gonna choose to balance with calls in some of those situations. It's the same thing if you look like at a chip EV 40 big blind range. Like, if you're facing an EP open and you have a hand like ace queen suited, you're gonna see a lot of flatting with that. And it's because of how poorly it plays versus a four bet jam. You know, it's in a bad spot, so some of the
see.
same behavior with queens in that scenario, I think. This scenario, I think we, you know, if we had an
Oh,
overcall,
God.
this might be it, but I think it's gonna fold.
Do you know what? They grayed out my favorite option.
Oh, wait, I said I wouldn't be surprised to see calls, but it's giving us a cheat. It's not calling anything here.
Jesus Christ, what are we gonna do? Tell me.
You fold, Ben? I don't
Fold.
know.
There's
Do we
no
fold
way.
this?
There's no way, it's sevens.
But are you
Squeeze.
raising sevens?
I
Yeah,
don't want to.
squeeze.
Oh,
I'm not.
we're in the cutoff, you crazies. It's like we're
We're
not
the
even closing the
daddy.
action.
Squeeze the table.
Oh, you wanna squeeze, Pete? Are we the biggest stack?
Yeah.
Kind of, not really.
Kind of not really, right?
Yeah,
The hijack is capped. He's the other big stack, so squeeze him.
So this is not a call.
Yeah, 7 big blind. Let's go.
Lucky sevens, huh?
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
What have you done?
Alright, so again, we see the pattern persist. Nines are absolutely dog trash here. Dog shit.
We don't have a
Eights.
calling range.
Eights, horrible. And yeah, just not much calls.
Not much
Actually-
as in none.
this is consistent. I haven't seen any calling range in a multi-way hand yet on this.
Well, I think like you need position. Like if you were to look at this and see the button, you might have some calls. The big blind's gonna obviously have some calls.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, I mean. the EV gained by entering a pot here versus these two ranges, it's like, I don't know, what are you hoping for? 30% equity? Like,
Hoping for
just,
folds. But I'm not jamming there. I would be squeezing, but not jamming.
so this is a great combo to bluff with. And it's versus two stacks you can probably apply a lot of pressure to. Wouldn't be surprised to see some squeezing from here, maybe.
Yeah.
But there's two ranges is the problem. Okay, so it's a little too strong. Seven's a no-go, but it's not crazy, right? Like suited fives, king five, king four. The concept kind of persists. And yep. Fragments of all of these pairs. You were saying, yeah, look, okay, so this is perfect, the overcalling range. So we're in the small blind. We do have some overcalling here. Not
Look
much.
at
though.
this, pocket deuce.
Yeah, I mean, pocket deuce has all the clean outs, right?
Yeah. Pocket deuce,
Pocket threes, pocket deuces, they just don't have anything.
they never lose.
Okay. Do you call or do you jam? I just jam. We don't need to get cute, right? We don't, oh, we do get
It's
cute.
a
Okay.
call.
We do get cute.
Jam everything, but not.
Yeah, yeah, but if you want to get cute with kings, you have to get cute with 10-7 suited.
That's right.
That was an awesome comment.
That's true.
It's fucking great.
Oh,
Oh,
equal stack.
equal
Just let it go,
stacks.
man. Just let
Oh,
it
wow.
go.
Let it go.
Alright, I'm all for letting it go, but,
Are we letting it? Okay.
but.
I do wanna
Sometimes,
know.
sometimes you have to draw a line, you know?
So
what if
risk
this- what if
premium's
this player's-
pretty,
And we have to look at this
Right.
guy and say, this is no more. This is enough.
risk premium's gonna be pretty heavily distributed. I think like when it's equal stacks, everyone's like about 12 or 13. So, he is gonna have some polar components here. Like this range
Okay.
should have some flats, it should have some jams, and it should have some raises. I don't think this is crazy. I don't think that's crazy. Ace jack's probably in there. I don't like ace ten
I
off.
don't like ace ten. I'm not sure about sevens
Personally.
either.
Okay. I think we might see some king, queen in here, honestly, suited.
That's about
But
it.
like I don't think this is crazy. I think this
Ace
is,
nine, where do you draw the line with ace nine? I think ace nine is a call.
I was gonna say put it green.
So
seems-
it's
this
a
seems like
call,
in the
probably
neighborhood.
the cost, and the cost. So let's get rid of them.
Yeah. So it's wider. It's a bit wider. And it's because of like everyone having equally distributed stacks.
Yeah, so you
Like
gotta.
if you look at what his jamming range is, he's gonna have like some pretty polar components in here.
Yeah, but if you fold those ones on the bottom that aren't in our range. I mean, how much are you losing?
So like, look at this jamming range. This is the reason why. So before you remember the calling range and think like you call here, they need to be jamming a range constructed like this, which I would argue is probably not the reality for most situations.
I would say is quite impossible.
Yeah, I would,
Even
wouldn't-
against the toughest.
I wouldn't be able to construct that range.
I mean, some of this makes sense, but, yeah, I just don't feel like people are constructing it quite like this. Like, you see the
Honestly, I
big
think people
boomerang.
are gonna find a 9-7 suited, maybe a 9-6 suited, but
Yeah.
never a 6-3 suited. or-
Yeah, they'll find some of the stuff in the middle. 10-2
Well, yeah.
suited, jack-2 suited.
They'll find this part here, but probably not many jack-5 off or 10-6 off.
Yeah, so I mean, like tightening this
And-
call range by a pip or two is probably gonna be quite reasonable.
And also to be more honest, in game, I think they're gonna have more of the suited aces than is.
Ace eight suited, ace ten off nine, sorry.
Alright,
To my investors, I agree. I agree.
sorry to my investors.
This guy's got the big stack. I mean, we can probably get a little out of line here sometimes. The question is like, we're in the big blind, so what does our raising range actually look like here? I think we're completing with our suited components more so than the offsuit. which would make me probably. I don't know, man. Are we gonna raise this? I kinda wanna just jam this, I think. I know there's, I
I was
know,
wondering, I wanted to know if we jam it too.
I know, I know, I know. There's a lot of short stacks. Risk premium is pretty heavy here.
Oh,
I am not jamming here,
What are you doing? You're completing?
calling.
Yeah, I don't mind a call either. I do like the call too.
I think if we have jams, it's gonna pull from the offsuit branch. And
Okay.
we're gonna call with the suited stuff. Like if this is ace jack suited, I'm calling.
This is the low jack, man. Calm down.
It is. Well, look at his range. Let's see. It's gonna be
Yeah,
pretty
let's see.
chippy
He's
V-ish.
very deep, but it's not that loose.
What does it say? That says cutoff range.
Yeah,
Oh, you're saying the low jack isn't that loose right now. Okay.
That's cutoff. Why?
oh,
Hit up the peanut butter.
Did
It's
you
time to
break it?
jam.
Did you break it, Louis? Click the cutoff, see what it does.
look at
That's
this.
the hijack. Okay, so. Alright, it's a beta function. Give it a break, guys.
I think those are the right ranges. I think the
I'm
the
calling here.
misprint is just on
Yeah.
the cutoff.
Oh my goodness.
So, looking at
Get
the
up
idea.
Peanut butter. It's jam
um,
time.
I was wrong about the suited components, right? So it's actually just jamming a lot. I mean, we are calling a lot of suited combos here, but. Ace jack suited is calling. I was right about that, but like, I don't know. The king tens of the world, I'm just calling a lot of these suited Broadway combos, I think.
Okay, so what are we doing with our ace nine, ace 10, ace 8 offs, and maybe ace 5 offs? What's that looking like?
My king,
You got fragments of not all in raising to balance your pocket aces, but
Okay.
what they're
I-
really doing is calling. That's what they're really doing.
I've
Okay.
seen that configuration with the suited king jacks, king tens, queen jack, queen tens a lot in the past couple days doing these.
yeah,
Well, yeah, I mean, they make a lot of sense. It's just you have to find the right conditions. They're high equity holdings that play really well when they're called. So, it just, you gotta
It's
find
rumble.
the, you gotta
rumbling.
find the conditions to make you rumble.
The pad special, you get the pad special, you just shove.
They got similar properties to like these low pairs. I mean, pocket threes, pocket fours, high equity hands, but they realize equity very poorly.
Yeah.
Shenanigans,
Oh,
raise maybe sometimes.
Yeah,
nah,
raise.
yeah,
You can
Yeah.
admit this. You don't have to play these hands. I'm just,
nah.
you don't have to do this, but folding's obviously a good answer.
With a short stack,
Kind of.
I
I like
I'm
folds.
folding.
I like folds.
We have a 10, we're against early position.
Alright, what's the floor of what are you doing
Yeah.
with the floor of what are like, okay, so. Are you jamming more? Or are you not all in raising more with your range? Question one.
Jamming, this is a
Yes.
scam
Out
or
of
a
position.
non-scam?
Yep, I agree. Out of position. And we're against, two bigger stacks that are still like, they're middling stacks, truthfully. Alright, and what's the floor? What are you doing with ace jack suited?
I am jamming.
Okay, I'm there.
this might be one of the graphs where ace jack is in there, ace ten and ace nine might be out, and then there might be some shenanigans with ace eight, ace seven.
Yeah, I don't know if we get to get two polar versus two ranges here. Maybe we
jack.
do. What are you doing? Nines? Nines and tens?
I'm folding nines.
Yeah, I think fold
How
nines.
am
I'm
I
fold-
ever gonna fold nines here?
Maybe you call some nines, but I
I'm
think it's gonna be
folding.
primarily folding. Tens is kind of the cuspy one for me.
I'm not, I'd have troubles with nines. I'm not, I'd be honest. I'd have troubles folding them.
I'm folding.
Now, what are we doing with suited Broadway? Are you jamming? What are you doing with king, queen suited?
This is what I'm
King
doing.
jacks?
This is what I wanna do.
I like this. I'm about there with this.
I don't wanna do anything else and maybe even get rid of these.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
you could
the
put them
good
green.
suited jacks,
They could be like hard maybes.
Yeah, that's what I wanna do. Oh,
So it's in the neighborhood.
It's not
It's in the
jamming.
neighborhood. You're not
Yeah,
jamming
yeah.
much. You're not
Yeah,
jamming
think
much.
about what you do with aces here. You don't wanna go super scam, right?
Oh,
You wanna
but
go like, oh, let's raise a little bit.
You don't want to play against two
Uh,
ranges with ace king.
Oh, I'm happy though. We found the fold with tens. That was the toughest part.
Yeah. Yep.
What's a good 3-bet sizing here?
I
Out of
probably,
position?
I'd probably still be,
So 8 bit blinds here.
Maybe.
I'll be honest, I'd probably still call with nines and tens.
There's a sliver, Joey. It's not too wrong.
I
but
know.
Every time I'm doing that on an FT, I get super scam outs and I'm done getting scammed.
He's done with it.
Yeah.
No more.
Yeah, Louis folds the pocket nines and rabbit hunts him with a hit and he pissed off.
Don't give out all my trade secrets, Joey. So yesterday, look at this. Let me show you guys something real quick. Yesterday, I had a final table. Where I took sixth place and I ended up finishing with ace jack offsuit. We're gonna review the hand because probably was a punt. For today's session, yeah, probably
Oh,
was.
look at that. I see good old Byron Darris there.
Oh yeah, I got rid of him. And
Taught
then
him a lesson.
my buddy,
Yeah, I just saw that.
who did not punt ICM. In the same game as me, took second place for $5,000.
That will be interesting if we review the final table with both old card.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna have a look. Alright, let's keep going.
What are we doing?
Oh,
I would
Why are we
never
doing this
three
to
bet this
ourselves?
guy like this. I would.
Why are we doing
never
this to
do it.
ourselves?
Now what? You fold? GG? You were
Just shot
clicking?
yourself in the foot. You limp to the hospital.
Yeah.
you only, you only have to call six, so wow.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you didn't shove Joey, it's because it wants to have a min raise fold, right? And then if it didn't, if we have a min raise fold, this is it.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're
good
folding
game,
this.
good game.
No. It's two ranges. Don't fall for the trap again.
I'm sorry, but this is.
It's linear, man. We're not gonna be polar. Don't fall for the trap.
Oh, I had it. I had it.
You did, man. I'm sorry. I
But it's
talked you
okay
out of
to
it.
fold, it's okay.
Yeah, there's a 9 big blind and a 10 big blind. I'm finding the sliver of fold there all day.
I talked you squarely out of it. Oh, we are in the box. Welcome. I'm gonna need a bit.
Welcome to the box.
I'm gonna need a bit.
Is there
Sorry
bounty?
to our investors.
You
This
know-
guy's the daddy.
I'm folding. I'm just gonna fold. I'm not even gonna, get me
Okay,
out of
okay.
here.
Okay, I see what you're doing, but what do you,
There,
Jack,
there's a 12 and a 16 stack.
I'm done. I'm folding.
what do you do with double J's?
Man, jacks are tough, right? Like, you're indifferent. I think you call jacks. I hate
Aren't
it.
aren't they essentially the same thing though?
Not really.
I mean, they're only one pair higher. They're both pocket pairs. I mean, kind of have. Why do you think they're so different? Why do you think they're different? I feel like they're in the
Jacks
same
beat
part of it.
tens. Tens.
Yeah, I know,
tens
but
loses to
tens beat
jacks.
nines, right? I'm just
I'm
Well,
trying
just-
to do a job here, because
If you,
other
if we
other than
do,
the fact that jacks beats tens. Do you have another? I'm just wondering. I really
If-
always thought they were similar.
well,
exactly, I think we are gonna go with something like this here.
if we do look at the small blind range, I think there could be some bluffs with the queen tens, king
14.
tens.
So if you really wanna get down
Ooh.
to it, if you really wanna get down to
Fold-based
it,
king bluff.
Josh.
Yes,
I think
I do.
his bluffs are gonna contain some 10x here sometimes.
That's honestly, this is such a fucking good point. I never thought about this. That's why I
And-
asked. You guys are making great points right now.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You're blocking some of his bluffs, I think.
So it's even worse than that,
Yeah.
okay? It's even worse than that. His bluffs are gonna contain some jack X, but the logic persists.
Oh,
Okay, so if we're blocking his bluffs essentially, it loses EV, right? It becomes bad. Now that we have tens are bad because we're behind his bluffs. if he's jamming queen jack suited here and we call with tens, okay, sure, we have a coin flip, but do you really wanna be flipping your tournament life in this scenario?
With two short
Or-
stacks.
With two short stacks? No, you're torching money is essentially it. I think jacks are gonna be kind of in the blender looking at this now because we're blocking his bluffs.
But also though, he's got bluffs from the lower end of pairs too, so that might
It's
change
true,
things.
it's true. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't like jacks anymore because after looking at that, we had the cheat sheet.
I fold this king. What?
Okay, whatever, if it calls.
We're just ahead of too much here.
Yeah, I
Right, we're-
guess so.
He has too wide of an ace range shoving. The tens are just gonna do okay.
I think,
And
I think Galen's perfectly right if I didn't see the threes and fours and fives shoving.
mhm.
That was the last thing that made me think that they were in there. When
Well,
you see
so-
him shoving some of his small pairs.
You gotta take some of the stuff we see here with a grain of salt for the reasons Joey's
Oh,
saying, like.
exactly, yeah.
You have to construct this guy's range in reality. So like, in theory, in the lab here, he's jamming these trashy pairs. He's he's jamming those suited aces. Like, if you don't think your opponent is capable of that, or look at ace four, like, how many combos of ace four off is that? That's a ton. It's like, what, 15,
Well-
14 combos or something?
12. It's about,
four is
it's about
like
75%, so 12.
Yeah, man, so it's a lot of combos. So if they're not capable of this, some of these pairs, like you could show this in HRC, you could run this scenario locking these polar combos out and you start torching equity. You just start torching money calling off here because he's got nothing but value at that point. So like tens and jacks are kind of left in no man's land in a lot of instances because they're getting a lot of their EV and value from these trashy combos. But, yeah, I don't know.
I
It's
still liked your
close.
answer earlier about my tens and jacks being similar. I like how you explained that to me. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Those
That's
are the
something I've
things
been
you
wondering
gotta-
for.
Yeah, you gotta use that kind of stuff to navigate these spots.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just kinda,
You have to, yeah, you have to try to identify where his rate, his bluff range is. And
oh
you
man,
don't-
Jack ten
Eh.
suited is freaking close here.
It's
I
not,
think.
it's not.
No, I don't think it's,
Alright,
The
so
real
I'm calling
question
king,
is,
queen.
What
I'm
is
calling king,
close?
queen.
King,
I'm
queen.
calling king, jack, probably. It's 12, man. I'm calling king,
Can I
jack.
ask- Can I ask you a separate one? What if he limps? Do you ever shove jack 10 or do you just see a flop?
Oh, no, I'm all in it. He's not getting a free three
Okay.
cards. I'm
Yeah.
jamming.
Yeah.
No-
Okay.
There's no free lunch around here. He's paying.
All right. Fair.
Man, how wide are you calling on the pairs, Louis?
Hmm,
Yes, I mean, honestly, dude, I don't think you're crazy. I think it's gotta be close.
yeah, if,
I go with
Oh.
threes. Yeah, fours, threes.
I'm drawing the line at fives, I think here. Maybe fives or sixes are indifferent. I'm just not gonna take the force.
You said you're
like your
folding
offsuit.
fours and fives?
I think so. I think fives
Yeah,
are gonna be kinda
we're-
like,
We're calling
gonna-
sevens and sixes, right? Or
yeah,
no
I'm
six?
calling,
Okay.
I'm calling
Okay.
sevens and sixes here. You know, honestly, I'm on the fence about those two combos right there.
which one?
I'm on the fence. The queen, jack and the king ten. But, yeah, this is plus or minus a combo. This is pretty close.
So I think this is the green ones are the cusp, right?
Yeah, I would
We
put
just get
fours in
rid
there
of them.
personally.
We
But,
simply
yeah.
Get rid of them. Let's see how close we are to the solution.
I don't know, I think queen jack's in there.
See, look, it was the solution right there. Like, so this is Ashwin said he's calling the jack ten. I don't, or I'm sorry,
Okay.
Saeed. I don't think this is crazy. I don't think this is crazy. What I do think is crazy is these offsuit aces.
So do I. I agree with the offsuit aces for sure.
I think that's pretty batshit, man. I'm just not getting in there with the offsuit aces.
That's great.
Yeah, so we are quite tight here. Way too tight.
Yeah, I mean, he just should be jamming a lot here, I guess. Like, look at his jamming range. It should be, what? 50% of hands or something. He should just be piling into us, maybe 40%.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's that high.
Click the hat. Okay, it's not that high. Not that high at all. It's actually, I'm very wrong, actually.
I thought he'd be jamming a lot more like trashy king X.
Me too. You know, if he's only see, this is another one of those weird caveat things, right? We know as the computer what he's jamming. And it's just really not a big part of the range. When in actuality, we have no idea, like,
Yeah,
which is highly influencing how wide we are here.
oh, what's his stack?
It was 10.
10?
Was it?
I think he started with 10. I think this is the 10, 20, 40 situation. So it's like shorty versus middle. I don't know, man. I don't know what we do here. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe it jams on him, like with this high-low trash one.
Yeah. Jam it. Jam and be
Maybe jam
good.
it. Alright, it's gonna call.
Wanna call?
It's going to call here. In game, I'm not calling here, I don't think.
Alright,
It's very close to the one we just looked at.
yeah, it is the
I
same.
almost think it's the exact same one, actually.
Call?
You know,
Why
you
we?
Gotta call
know,
at least.
you gotta, the question is, do you just put it in?
No,
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 you just call.
just call.
Oh, you wanna keep it, you wanna keep his bluffs in here, right? You wanna get value for your king.
Yeah, maybe so. I
Think
kinda
we
like
should
raising
call or
here.
fold?
I like raising. We're super deep.
We have 2 9s, we're against the button.
It's
Set mine.
true. It's true.
Deep
Maybe
enough
we
to
just
set
call.
mine here.
Yeah,
It raises some. It raises, see, this is, because we're so effectively deep. You start to see some more of this chippy V-ish behavior coming in, like with
Yeah,
the suited connectors, the middling pairs.
yeah, this is what I was saying to, Josh earlier when he asked that question. It's more, it's less ICM and more the size of the stack that takes those out.
you raise pocket 7 here more than you raise pocket 8.
Right, what's the EV also? Look at the EV of raising pocket sevens. You're at 0.21. What's the EV raising? Alright, so it does increase linearly there.
It's weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's higher,
I
but
think,
it's less.
I think it's just a function of like, we're over 60 effective.
Yeah.
Do we just jam here?
Jam and be good.
It's okay, you can do that.
We are daddy.
Yep, you get to bully around. Folds?
Oh my goodness.
What
Really?
have you done?
You
How,
doing,
you're
Louis?
opening, you're
How-
opening into 100 big blinds and
I
you're
have 2
24 deep.
hearts. I have a big heart.
You got a big folds, what you got?
Yeah, see, I
You're
guess,
an EP,
yeah.
that's barely an open, a chippy V.
Alright, I'm too tempted here. I'm gonna put some chips in, I think.
I'm gonna
We're
try
on the
to-
button, man. We're on the button.
From now on, I'm gonna do my best and try to fold here.
We're on, call me a fish.
I call you a fish.
98% of the
fishy.
time,
I'm
I'm a
gonna
fish.
have to call your PR agent, yeah?
I know, man.
Wow.
Call it.
I
Call.
hate this. I call. in
I
game.
call game.
We don't have a call.
Go.
Push or fold.
There's a sliver with ace queen suited.
The one combo. The one combo.
Alright, I think we're gonna wrap it up.